Good morning. It is Saturday, November 16th. And as you know, this is Diabetic Awareness Month. And so I've been coming on here live every day sharing something about type 1 diabetes or something about our personal story, just to help spread a little bit more understanding and awareness and compassion around type 1, as well as advocate for people to join us in this fight, to pay attention with us in this fight, so that hopefully you can help us fight for a cure. So what I wanted to share, the title of this one is about last night, and you guys, last night was a doozy. And ironically, Molly wasn't home, so I think I've heard before people say, oh, you're so lucky that Molly, can go spend the night places because then you get a night off. So I wanted to explain to you, Molly spent the night at a friend's house last night. And first of all, we are blessed with, she has the best friends, and their families are 1000% in this with us. And so for that, we are forever grateful. But last night, Molly was at a friend's house, and about 1:15, her alert went off on my phone that she was low. So I call her phone. She doesn't answer. She's a 14-year-old teenager. If you can imagine trying to wake a teenager, you guys that have teens know waking them from a dead sleep is like trying to literally wake a zombie. So tried to call her. She didn't answer. Tried to call one of her friends, who usually has her phone on, and she didn't answer. So I'm starting to get panicked because I can't get a hold of them. Now, I know I could call the parents, but I was trying not to wake them, just because out of courtesy. But that was what it finally was. After about 2 minutes of trying to call, text, and not getting any response, I was getting panicked, because she was continuing, her blood sugar was continuing to drop. So I called and got a hold of the sweet mama, and she was so gracious. She was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. And then got Molly awake, got Molly working on her blood sugar, and then texted and said, we're here. Let us know what else we can do. Our phones are on. So they were very, very helpful, of course. But I spent from about 1:15 to 2:45 in the morning on the phone with Molly, on and off, texting her, setting alarm for every 20, telling her to do something, and then setting an alarm for 20 minutes and recommunicating with her until we could get her blood sugar in a safe place. So last night, even though Molly was away from home, it was actually a little more stressful than having her home because I was trying to help from a distance. And at least when she's in my house, I'm there with her and able to look at her and help her physically, instead of having to depend on technology and those kind of things. So last night was a little bit stressful, but we got through it, and I've already picked her up this morning and dropped her off at swim practice. So super grateful for friends, parents that understand and don't mind being woken up at 1:15 in the morning to help with blood sugar. Super, super grateful for that. But the point of this, I guess, is that no matter where Molly goes, the type 1 goes with her. So I don't get a break from it. She doesn't get a break from it, because regardless of where she's laying her head, the disease is with her, and I have to follow along and be with her as well, even from afar. So that's kind of what we have to do. Now, could I tell Molly that she could never spend the night with people because it's just easier for me to have her home? I could, but I also want her to thrive and be a child and be able to live a normal life and have fun with girlfriends and have overnights and that kind of good stuff. So we learn as we go, and we learn how to adapt and adjust, and we talk about things when they don't go well and try to make them better the next time. But super grateful for a sweet family last night that was able to wake up and get Molly working on her blood sugar. Grateful for technology that, number one, alerted me, and number two, allowed us to be connected. But last night was a doozy. I will also share with you that over the last 6 nights, we've had 13 different times that we have physically been up out of bed after being sound asleep and dealing with an issue. So that doesn't mean just 13 minutes. It is, 45 minutes at a time, but 13 different times we have helped her, gone back to bed, and had to get back up sometime. So 13 times in the last 6 nights that we've been up and helping Miss Molly, so that she can sleep. And that's just what it is. And I shared earlier, night times are just hard. It's when hormones are released. It's when her body kind of goes into growth and healing mode. And so there's a lot going on there. And so blood sugar gets really wonky. So that's why I ask you to fight with us. I would love not to have to wake a family up at 1:15 in the morning. I would love to let Molly sleep through the night without having to alert her or wake her up. And again, grateful that we were able to get a hold of her and help her last night. But I was in panic mode. My heart was racing, and then I had a hard time going back to sleep. But I will do that every day of the week in order to have her be healthy, but it was a difficult night. So 13 times in the last 6 days we've been up with a blood sugar issue sometime between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. So that's a lot. That's why I ask you to fight with us and advocate with us, because I would love for that not to be the reality. So please fight with us until type 1 is type none, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day.